Hello friends, my name is Mohammad Imran. I am a second year MBBS student. So we are going to discuss about opioids today. The first thing that should come into our mind after hearing opioid is analgesia. Now we are going to discuss in detail about the opioids. The first thing we should know before studying opioids is the receptors on which the opioid acts. There are three types of receptors: mu, kappa and delta. Mu, kappa and delta. The following effect it gives us by acting on mu receptor is euphoria, analgesia, constipation, respiratory depression, meiosis and sedation. In kappa receptor it gives us dysphoria, analgesia and constipation, and in delta receptor it's going to give us analgesia, neurotransmitter release and hormones. Analgesia is common in between all three receptors, mu, kappa and delta. After completing opioid receptor, we are going to study about endogenous opioids. There are three types of endogenous opioids: enkephalin, endorphin and dynorphin. Enkephalin acts on mu receptor, endorphin acts on kappa receptor, and dynorphin acts on delta receptor. D for D, we can remember it by D by D. And classification. Now we are going to study about the classification. They're basically divided into three classes: opioid agonist antagonist, and partial mu agonist and kappa antagonist. There is only one drug in this class, that is buprenorphine. Now we are going to discuss in detail about the opioid agonists. They are divided again into three classes, that is natural, semi-synthetic and synthetic. Natural ones, the most famous one, that is morphine, codeine, thebaine, papaverine and noscapine. Semi-synthetic are basically derived from natural, and the examples of semi-synthetic opioid agonists are heroin, volcodeine and oxymorphone. Synthetic: fentanyl, L-fentanyl, sufentanil, remifentanil. These are all used in anesthesia. And pethidine, methadone and tramadol. Now we are going to discuss about morphine in detail. The pharmacological actions of morphine. First, we are going to study about the effect on CNS. It gives two effects. One is it depresses the CNS, depressant effect, and second is stimulates the CNS, that is stimulant. The following effects we are going to see if opioid depresses the CNS are analgesic effect, sedation, respiratory depression, hypothermia, cough suppression. And the effects we are going to see if it stimulates the CNS are meiosis and nausea and vomiting. CVS, it either depresses the vasomotor center, or it releases the histamine, or it acts directly on blood vessel. All these events leads to vasodilatation, which gives us the final effect, that is hypotension. Now we are going to discuss about the therapeutic uses of opioids or morphine. The first one we know that is analgesic, labor pain, cancer pain, pulmonary edema, antitussive and MI. As we have completed the uses, now we are going to discuss about the side effects. We are going to discuss the main side effects. that it increases the intracranial pressure. So it is contraindicated in head trauma. The next most important one is it increases the histamine release, which leads to bronchoconstriction. So it is contraindicated in bronchial asthma and COPD. It also leads to vasodilatation, so it also causes hypotension, as we have discussed earlier. All these effects are combined by a mnemonic known as morphine CVS. It is given in Schanbach, and M denotes for meiosis, A for analgesia, and R for respiratory depression, P for physical and psychological dependence, and H for histamine release, hypotension, hypothermia, I for itching, N for nausea and vomiting, and E for euphoria, C for cough suppression, and V for vagal stimulation, bradycardia. It leads to bradycardia, and S for sedation. We have covered all these points earlier also. Now we're going to discuss some other drugs in opioids like codeine, noscapine. They act as antitussive. They suppresses cough. Next we are going to study about methadone. The most notable feature of methadone is no withdrawal symptoms. As we know that codeine causes dependence. When we give methadone to a patient by IV or orally, it's gonna enter systemic circulation. After entering systemic circulation, either it goes into CNS to give us the desired effect, and some of the drug gets sequestered in tissues. So it's gonna release slowly with time. So we do not see withdrawal symptoms with this drug. That's why it is used in opioid dependence. And now we are going to discuss about tramadol. The most important point, that is, it inhibits reuptake of norepinephrine and 5-HT. Next we are going to study about loperamide, diphenoxylate and diphenoxin. Loperamide does not cross blood-brain barrier, so no dependence. These both crosses the blood-brain barrier, so it's going to give us dependence as a side effect. Loperamide is drug of choice for secretory diarrhea. Next we are going to study about the second class of opioid, that is, we can memorize it by a mnemonic: decide between pani puri and noodles. And D for dezosine, B for butorphanol, P for pentazocine, and N for nalbuphine and nalorphine. And these all are full agonist at kappa receptor and antagonist at mu receptor, except there is only one exception, that is pentazocine, which is a partial agonist at mu receptor. And third class, that is the partial mu receptor and kappa receptor antagonist. The only one example, that is buprenorphine. Now we are going to discuss about the opioid antagonists. There are 3 opioid antagonists which are centrally acting. These all are centrally acting drugs: naloxone, nalmefene and naltrexone. Naloxone and nalmefene is given by IV route, and naltrexone is given by the oral route. Naloxone, nalmefene are used for opioid toxicity, and naltrexone is basically used for opioid and alcohol dependence, not for toxicity. Now we are going to discuss about the major issue with opioids, that is dependence and addiction. If a person is addicted to opioid, if the addiction is of short duration, we can abruptly stop opioids. As we are stopping the opioids, there would be some mild withdrawal symptoms. We can treat these mild withdrawal symptoms with beta blockers or clonidine. If the addiction is of long duration, if a person is addicted to opioid for a long time, like 3 or 4 years, we have to go with maintenance therapy. We cannot stop opioid abruptly because it may be dangerous, so we start with a replacement, that is methadone. As we know that methadone do not cause any withdrawal symptoms, we have to give a particular dose, then we have to decrease the dose gradually, that is we are tapering the dose, and we have to stop this drug, stop methadone after some time. And if for relapse, we have to give naltrexone. Thank you for watching. Hope so you like this video. Stay tuned for next video on CNS pharmacology series.